So, hi, welcome to our next podcast episode. I am joined today by one of my favorite people on planet Earth, and she goes by Nicole. But if you read book number 1, then you're going to know that this is my friend Nicole, who runs the human trafficking business. But I actually had her on because we're going to clarify. So you don't run a human trafficking business?
No, I'm only here today to clarify that I do not run a human trafficking business, thanks to your son, AJ, for making me that Nicole.
Love it.
No, I run an anti-human trafficking business.
Key differentiation.
Very key. I need him to just kind of add in anti whenever he refers to me from now on.
If you could please clarify that comment. I love it because now pretty much everybody in our friend circle, and honestly, but beyond that at this point, knows you as human trafficking Nicole.
That's true.
So you can never really change career paths, I don't think. I think you're going to be at Center of Hope now for...
I think I've committed to life at this point.
I think you have too.
Kind of sometimes I think a jail sentence, but
yeah.
I think I've committed, yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about Center of Hope. Really kind of the mission behind it. So I want to say, and I'll say it publicly here, so now it's been recorded on a podcast, Nicole knows, I have committed that when I make my first $1 million, doing whatever it is that I'm doing with all of my different side hustles, we had some ideas this morning, I'll fill you in. Once I make my first $1 million, 10% of that goes straight to Nicole and her anti-human trafficking organization, Center of Hope.
Yes, I'm holding you to that. Now
Absolutely.
I guess I'm in too to help you make your first $1 million.
That's exactly right. Step it up.
Yes. So Center of Hope started in May of 2013 by a couple, concerned community members, our founders, Lori Paternoster, and just working with victims of human trafficking. I think it started out with mostly adults being served. They were seeing them like in the domestic violence population and different homeless shelters. But slowly, over the past 5 or 6 years, I'd say, and definitely after COVID, it's really become a youth-based population. Our average client age is about 14.
I think that's key.
Most of
and
that.
I think, and then I'll shut up again and let you continue. But I think one of my favorite things, not favorite, but one of the main points that I want people to understand is you and I've talked about the fact that there's total misunderstanding about human trafficking, what it is, where it comes from, and who are most at risk. And so I just wanted to kind of stop there and say, and make sure that everybody listening heard that really the average age of your patient, I won't say patient, your client population as a nurse. Yeah, exactly. Well, so do you.
World, but yeah.
But the fact that they're 14 years old, I think most people don't realize that.
No, I've been joking, and maybe, we can talk to whoever does this for you, because I need a podcast too.
Absolutely.
A Mythbusters, if you will.
Love it.
Because, the misconception here locally is that that it's migrants that we're serving, undocumented, that they're adults, that they've gotten themselves into this. I've so much as heard somebody say that when I think of human trafficking, I just think of prostitutes in Vegas.
Oh, my God.
Which, makes my skin crawl based on the work that we do. But yes, the average client age right now that we're seeing is 14. Over the past 2 years, it's been 14. When I first took on this role in 2020, it was average 17, 18-year-olds was our primary population. And it's just significantly gone down. And realizing that about 92% of all of our clients are U.S. citizens. They're youth going to school here locally, and they're being trafficked by U.S. citizens here locally. The media portrays it in a different light, sometimes even different law enforcement partners, and then our community as a whole just doesn't understand that it's happening here.
Unbelievable.
So I think you know well enough to know that it's become my passion and my drive in life to make sure people understand.
Educate people.
Yeah, that no, it's not what you think, and it's children that we're talking about. So I even asked you about our upcoming donor appeal, and is Act Now Save a Child too dramatic? But it's like...
And I said, hell no, print it bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the reality is, when you talk too about, there's all sorts of ways for children to be contacted. And so I think one of the things you and I have talked about, we talk about social media and we talk about all of those things, and we have, but, parents, and you touched on it maybe a tiny bit right now when you said 92% are children that are going to school here that are U.S. citizens whose parents are U.S. citizens. And people are unaware of how this gets started. And so, you and I had a conversation about Roblox and making sure that you're paying attention to what's going on in the chats on game apps. I mean, it's just crazy. But I think people don't realize that.
Yeah, no, I mean, Roblox was definitely, or is a target, and Roblox is focused on youth like 3 to 8 years old, and it's a predator's target. Like, how do you wrap your head around that? And
3 to 8 year olds,
Yeah.
you would never even think about it from that perspective.
Yeah, so we've had a number of cases locally with involving the recruitment that came out of Roblox, and you pick on me because I refuse to have TikTok, but there's obvious reasons behind it. There's actually a list of you now that bully me about not having TikTok.
Is it growing?
It's growing. Like, I'm like, you guys, leave me alone.
Well, you could have TikTok and just watch my stuff. That would be horrifying.
The day I give in and I download just for you, I guess to support the $1 million, maybe.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
But
for
no,
sure.
I just, these platforms are just getting, it's just easier access to youth than we realize. But there's also been teachers, bus drivers. We've seen the band teacher locally that is engaging with minors, and people don't realize that that is a form of child sex trafficking.
Yeah.
And so these teens, 14, 15-year-olds that are in quote unquote relationships, they think with people in
adults.
their 30s and 40s. And it's just how do you wrap your brain around it? And so, So that is what Center of Hope does every day, all day long. And just trying to build on that and serve more people as much as we can.
Absolutely.
Thanks to supporters like you.
Trying. Yeah. So I haven't funded a table in a bit, but you just wait.
Hey,
I'm coming back.
I come to you for that cabin in Ruidoso any chance I can.
Awesome. So talk to me. Let's share, and then we'll kind of move on to some other topics. But share with me, or if you wouldn't mind, like you get the crisis calls. You have an incredible team. I mean, truly an incredible team. And I was so glad when Sebastian returned. So happy. I haven't seen him yet, but I'm excited to. But we were talking, or I was talking to some people earlier about the fact that, what it does to those providing the service. We forget that. Mm-hmm. And so talk to me a little bit about, what that crisis call, what does that look like when you get that call, right? Maybe share one more anonymous that really touched you. And then kind of what you work through with your team to try to help your team. I always say I'm trying really hard to stay sane. So that's my goal in life. I'm failing. It's not working, obviously. But what do you do for those team members that are taking those crisis calls with you? Because it's a huge hit to them personally as well.
So it's funny you say that. We joke, number one, that it's a constant dumpster fire. I actually recently found them stickers that say dumpster fire coworker support team.
That's fantastic.
And so we always joke that it's just constantly a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
And if you've seen the Minion GIF where they're just running around with like lights on, screaming,
yes,
that's
I know
also
exactly.
my team. Sometimes people think we have it all together, but it's just always pure chaos.
Yeah.
But so the calls. For example, like if a crisis call comes in, it's typically from law enforcement or the hospital. Hey, we've recovered a youth. We just had one 15-year-old. Mom thinks she's being exploited. Well, sure enough, because she was just found with a 34-year-old. They were exchanging inappropriate photos, sexual content. And youth was basically on runaway for a number of days. And so we get called out to go and assess, send a case manager. And just the level of detail that sometimes they have to hear. They have to be in the interview with law enforcement, go and, do the SANE exam with the youth. They're not in the room typically unless the victim requests it. But yeah, just being mindful of self-care, of like what you and I talk about. Like I do the work I do because I have support systems like you, a few of our other friends in our circle that I know I can call, but I need to know that my team has those people
the same
too.
Thing.
Yeah. And so we do offer therapy. They can go to therapy, paid for by the center, because I never want them to go home and like take on that burden and not have somebody to discuss it with. So self-care is huge for us. You've met Jasmine, our program director, and she
Another
she's
amazing person.
a clinician now, she's working to get her full licensure for social work. And so we're just constantly talking about like self-care and being trauma informed, and that it's not just about how we serve the clients, but how we serve each other, and just being there for each other. And sometimes that's all it is just staffing a case and being able to talk about it out loud, like the details that we can't share with the public or with our families, and just being like, you know what, this really sucks. This is really hard. And just talking about it. But you nailed it. You said my team, they're the most passionate group of people that I've ever like had the privilege of
100%
working
agree.
with. They go above and beyond every day, and just like whatever they're asked, they just do it. And so yes, Sebastian was a case manager. He needed to leave direct service for a little while. It became too much, as it
Heavy.
does for most. Yeah, it's just really heavy. And so he left us for about a year. And then we realized we just needed another director, a deputy director, and he was like the absolute perfect fit. And he's come back, and 2 days into being there, he was already writing grants, which I haven't had help with in 5.5 years.
Yep.
Yeah, my whole life. So he already is like writing grants, hitting the ground running, and just the level of passion is
That's amazing.
amazing. Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to see him again, because I haven't seen him since he's
You should
been
crash
back.
our Thanksgiving lunch like last year when we did the T-Swift
Done.
one, and you came as my plus one. So
Absolutely.
I'll send you the details.
Okay, that would be so fun. I love that. I think one of the things that I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, and I'm going to do an episode on this hopefully coming up about nursing specifically, but I love, and so I'm totally calling you out, but I love the fact that I'm a nurse, you know that. Went to UTEP, got my BSN, and then went on to get my MBA and kind of moved into the ops side. But I have a lot of friends that are nurses that are no longer working in nursing or anything really healthcare related. So can you talk to me a tiny bit about how you got into nursing, and then what and how you got out of it?
Yeah.
And I'll say out of it, you're still a caregiver, because you found another way
Yeah,
to really give back and do something hugely important.
Right. I think we always work with people forever, regardless of our title.
Yeah. Well, I think that's how we find people too.
Yeah.
I think, we were, I was doing an interview recently, and they were asking me about how, like, would I go back and do what I did over again? And I'm like, heck to the yes, because I met amazing people. And so you're one of them. I would have never met you.
That's true.
I would never be friends with the human trafficking business entrepreneur that I am had it not been for my role with the hospitals. We were very involved, and you had reached out for some fundraising stuff. And so that's how we connected. Yeah. But I love looking at kind of how those connections work. And then in your case specifically, how you went from nursing to non-nursing.
Yeah, well, I think, obviously, like my past, and that would be a whole series of episodes if we got into that. But that caregiver mindset always, like since I was younger. And so just the idea of helping people was where it started. And then I went and worked at a nursing home on the night shift doing work with dementia patients, and became a CNA, a certified nursing aide. And then just realized, you know what, maybe that's the direction I could go. So then I worked in the emergency room. All of this was in New York, not here.
Yeah.
But within just a few years, I realized like it was so top heavy. Like the directors in admin and in those offices that we joked on, like the 5th and 6th floor, they didn't care about patient care. They didn't care about satisfaction. They cared about numbers. And so even though I was working the night shift, it was still, you had a certain amount of time to get patients in and out. You had to make sure they had these tests or didn't have these tests. And it wasn't about what was going on with them or their family or why they came in. It was just
nothing to
all
do with the
strictly
patient.
Numbers. Yeah. And it was census, and it was this and that. And so I realized, you know what, I think I'll go back to school for healthcare administration, because I want to be up there knowing what I know from down here.
Part of the change.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then that quickly changed into never mind, I don't want to be involved at all, to public health. And so when I moved here to El Paso, I got obviously involved in the nonprofit sector. But like you said, it's still the same level of like helping people, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And so, I ended up finishing my master's in public health, which human trafficking is a public health crisis.
I was going to say.
For anyone who doesn't know
Ding,
that,
ding, ding.
since 2017.
Yep.
And that's kind of where it tied in my passion was, oh my gosh, like I actually could help this population based on what I went to school for. But yeah, I wouldn't ever take back working in the ER or anything that I saw, because it was still a lot of trauma. It was a lot of substance use. It was a lot of...
You see it all.
We were on the night, like we worked 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. Like you became friends with the cops and all the people they brought in.
Yeah.
And then that population transitions in some ways to like who we work with now, like the clients that we serve now.
That's so true.
And just some people will be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you dealt with that. And I'm like, oh, I saw way worse in the ER, or, you know,
Right.
or whatever. So, but yeah, for me, it was the administration just didn't understand that it wasn't about making money. It wasn't about your census numbers. Like, I wanted to truly care for people. And
There's
not
humans here.
Yeah. Like, and that just wasn't ever acknowledged. So I was like, you know what? I'm out.
Yeah. And you
So-
found another way.
And I would always joke, there was like women that were, you know, I was in my early 20s, and there was women that had been nurses for 30 or 40 years. That was their career, their whole life. They're ready soon for retirement, and they hated life. They hated their job. They hated all of us. Like, they were not nice. And I just remember thinking, like, I don't ever want to be that jaded. I don't want to hate everyone and everything because I stuck it out in a career that ruined me, or that I
didn't
can't
feel right.
stand, or that, I just
Or no
stayed
longer
in it.
aligns or
I just
whatever.
stayed in it because I needed the money. Like, I didn't want to be like that. So.
Yeah.
So luckily I was young enough at the time to change paths a little bit, but I would say I still very much feel like I still can care about people and help people, but just in a different setting.
I love that. And I think, you know, when you talk about you got into healthcare and I like to say you get into healthcare to be health caring. And then whether it's, you know, you mentioned older unhappy nurses. I mean, as a nurse, nurses eat their young. They do. You're the new nurse. They're going to give you the crummy assignment. They're going to make sure you get the crappy doctor. They're going to get, I mean, nurses are known, and I don't know if it's because it's so heavily female or not, but nurses are known for that. And I think what I like about what you're sharing is kind of similar to what I've said, is you figured out a different path or a different way to still have a positive impact, to still be able to take care of people, to still be a caregiver. I think the most disappointing thing for me was I did think if I rose through the ranks, you know, I'll have the power and influence to change things. And I did have the power and influence and opportunity and blessing to change things in the facilities I ran. But that's where that influence stopped. And so then looking for how do I have a bigger sphere of influence? How do I have, and that's part of kind of where this mission has grown, you know, using my voice, getting other people on to talk about their experiences and their things. But I think, you know, I was telling somebody the other day, it's really disappointing when you look at healthcare is supposed to be about health caring. And we have beat the care out of the care providers. And so it's disheartening, but I think when more people talk about it and we start kind of comparing stories and how come you got out of it and why are you doing something different, that's something thematic that I kind of keep seeing resonate.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think once in a while it's sad, but like you'll be just now at the doctor's office and I'm like, oh, like that nurse is so kind and compassionate. Oh, well, the system hasn't gotten to her yet. Like, or like you just wonder, there's, you know, it should be more so that than not. And it's the opposite. Like you're like, oh, I found a nurse who actually went above and beyond, or because so many now are so jaded and they're just like going through the motions and checking the boxes and it's not any fault of their own. It's just
They're surviving.
They're surviving.
They're in survival mode.
Yeah,
for
and
sure.
so- yeah, and you're right. It was like going through a sorority. What is it where they like
Oh, like hazing.
hazing?
Yeah.
That's what, when I was a young nurse
really
and there
good
was
way to
older
describe it.
nurses and they had been in it forever,
Yeah.
I was like, am I being hazed? And when does this stop?
Right.
Like at what? And then a new nurse would come in and I'd be like, oh, good, she's their
Thank
prey now.
God.
Like, yeah, I got to move up. I'm no longer the newbie, because it really was like you got the crappiest end of the stick, because they were like, well, like if we're gonna hate all of this, we might as well at least give the newbie the worst part.
If I had to do it, you have to do it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, so
That's crazy.
yeah, I think that sums it up for
That's
sure.
not fun. Well, one of my, I joke that our lives kind of run parallel in many different ways.
Check all the boxes.
Yeah, literally. And I think, you know, when we talk about, or I talk about my tribe, right? And I think the idea of women supporting women. And so, you know, you and I've had that conversation, and you know, kind of how one of my frustrations and one of the things that I'm trying to talk about more and more on here and other platforms to try to get women to kind of open their eyes to it. But I ask really one of each. So an example of a time where a woman really kind of helped lift you or helped get you somewhere or move you into, whether it's a position, a relationship, whatever it is. And then the example or an idea of the opposite. When a woman could have and didn't, or really went, I guess, to the point of preventing you or stopping you. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I would say, I'm so grateful, just like you. I have so many women in my life that have supported me and lifted me up. And I say all the time, I wouldn't be here.
You've got an amazing tribe, too.
Yeah, I wouldn't
really
be doing what I'm doing now at Center of Hope if it had not been for women that helped lift me up.
Yeah.
One of my mentors probably would be Kathy Gaitan with the Child Guidance Center that you know. And I tell her all the time, so I worked with her for 5.5 years at the Child Guidance Center, really just grew up underneath her, got into the nonprofit world. She
totally different world.
Yeah, totally
so
different
I went
world.
from corporate America to entrepreneurship, and you went from kind of corporate America to nonprofit, which in and of itself is...
And moved 3,000 miles from New York to Texas.
Oh, well, but that's a little thing.
That was no big thing. So I'm navigating moving from New York to here, and she...
Culture shock a bit?
She hired me on the spot, which she said she's never done, and then it was kind of like the rest is history. She just would mentor me, take me into the boardroom with her, and just helped me grow in a field that I never expected to be in. And then now I'm at the Center of Hope as a result. And we continue to partner, we continue to write grants together, and she just continues to say how proud she is, and not in that condescending,
she means it.
She means it. And I'm like, no, but I'm grateful for you. And she's like, well, I'm so proud of where you are now. And so we've become colleagues, but it's just amazing to see that level of lifting each other up. And when she's having a rough day, she calls me, or she has a question, and vice versa. And we just always know. So we joke, you and I, that we're due for lunch, but really it's like a therapy session.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I'm all like, how much can I pay you for therapy today?
Yep. It's chips, salsa, and margarita time.
Exactly.
That's what I text you. I'm like, when are we meeting at Carlos and Mickey's? I need a session.
The funny part is her and I at Sukasa. So we both know it's like a
I love
crisis
it.
call if we're like, can you have lunch at Sukasa?
Yeah.
And it's our thing. And unfortunately, they don't have margaritas there.
Dang
and we go
it.
at lunch. So, but yeah, no, that's if she's like, I need Sukasa. And I'm like, oh, I got you. And vice versa. So,
I love it.
So we try to meet, as often as the schedules allow. But yeah, it's funny that yours and there's a Mexican food theme here.
There is.
Ours is Sukasa and Kathy's and I's is Sukasa, and yours and I is Carlos and Mickey's.
That's right.
And yeah, so
we've been doing relatively well. We haven't needed as many crisis sessions recently.
I thought you were going to say an Uber home because we drink too many
Oh,
margaritas.
well, also that.
But
yeah.
no, we didn't need that
There's
either.
also that. Or you're hanging out with the last time we went is when you were trying to adopt all the cats in the parking lot. I had all the stuff. So I had all the stuff in the back of my car to donate to you for a rummage sale or something you guys were hosting. And so I said, well, meet me at my car. And I'm standing in my car waiting forever to the point that I thought you left. And then you show up and we're like, sorry, I was feeding the cats.
Well, I had leftover chicken tacos and the cats in the parking lot were hungry.
That's right.
And for anyone who knows me, they know that's spot on. Leave Allie on the other side and feed the stray cats. And
it was perfect.
If it was a raccoon, you wouldn't have even seen me again because I would
You're
have
right.
been driving
and then I
home
would have
with
been
the
pissed if you took the raccoon because
Home.
I want the raccoon.
Well, that's why we're going to end up sharing. It's going to be like Golden Girls eventually, where we have
It
our
is.
house and we have a raccoon and
Yeah,
we
3
have-
or 4 raccoons.
Probably, yeah.
All sorts of animals.
They're going to be dressed in
Maybe that
outfits
pigeon
and-
from where were you?
No,
with
it
the
was
pigeon
seagull.
outside? Oh, a
Yes.
seagull.
I was
Sorry,
in San Diego
sorry.
for a conference for work, and we figured out that on our 21st floor hotel that we could open the window and feed a seagull that kept coming back. And yeah, nobody was surprised. So.
But didn't he have like a
His
beak
beak
issue
was
or something?
injured,
See,
and
so you
if
were helping
I could have
him.
fit him in my suitcase, I
You
would
would have brought him home.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we do. We take care of people and animals.
And animals, yeah.
Or whatever else.
I think I prefer animals because they don't talk back and they're not mean. But
This is true. I had a really rough weekend this weekend, and I was so grateful for 2 dogs and a cat.
Yes.
Because, they lick the tears and they hug away the ick and they make you realize that tomorrow's another day.
although
It's going to be okay.
your big guy, he doesn't really have boundaries with space.
Yeah,
and-
Noble doesn't understand space. So for
No.
those that are listening, I have literally 100 pounds at this point, 100-pound white albino boxer who thinks that my lap is like a normal place for him to hang out.
He's a lap dog. I don't know why you're questioning that he's not.
I don't really know either, but
he's like holding your 14-year-old son on your lap. He's almost 14, right?
He just turned 14. Can you believe it?
That's right. Yeah. I was like, what day was it?
He just turned 14. I still can't believe that.
So it's
who's now taller than me?
It's between the boxer and AJ of who's going to sit on your lap.
This is true.
And yeah, it's a weight to carry, but it's worth it, right?
We went on a trip recently, and I was using my Clear Pass, and I have AJ assigned as a minor. So we're standing there, and the lady was like, "It says you have a minor with you." And I pointed at him, and she was like, "Oh, so your minor is taller than you?" And I was like, yes, he is.
Stop
and
judging
he
me,
loved
lady.
that. Yeah. I'm like, thanks a lot, lady.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he can, drive at 16, so we have a DD and
I'm in.
take him wherever we need to.
That's
the
right.
wine festival.
Well, he'll have to start joining Carlos and Mickey's, and then we don't have to Uber. It'll be perfect.
That's true.
Awesome.
Yes.
So what do you have coming up? As far as, I guess, maybe goals for next year with Center of Hope, do you have like a main focus, something that you're really working towards? Give me something.
Yeah, I mean, we always have, especially now with Sebastian on board. He's like,
Whoop, whoop.
he's got more ideas than my brain can keep up with.
Yeah.
And I was like, listen, buddy, I have too many tabs open in this brain, and please don't open anymore.
Yeah,
But
I'm gonna have to Control-Alt-Delete if you don't stop talking.
it's gonna crash for sure. Like I'm just
I love it.
Yeah. So no, we have so many things that we did schedule our masquerade, which you've been in attendance and helped out with. And so this coming year in May will be our 4th annual masquerade, and it's Phantom of the Opera themed.
Awesome.
And hopefully having the El Paso Orchestra coming and assisting and playing. And
Very cool.
yeah, so same at Tuscany, and again, a mother and daughter couple, like just they're amazing females that really just boost us up and
Have
elevate
stepped up.
us. And yeah, you saw this year's, like it was insane.
Incredible.
Yeah. So, and then our biggest thing I think is working towards housing, more housing we know there's a housing crisis for everyone, for our whole nation, but specifically working on housing for our victims, and then also a residential treatment center for youth.
Got it.
Which would be huge. So yeah, just trying to bring more awareness to El Paso about it, and we haven't had a youth residential treatment center in 30 years, and we need one desperately. We're sending youth to like other states at this point, so that's one of my big focus points.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I really need you to make that million quickly, because
Hurry up, Allie.
is I already I'm penciling it in the budget.
Okay, I'm gonna.
So, no pressure, no pressure, friends.
None. I don't feel pressure.
I didn't think you would.
Very good. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm always willing to volunteer. It's not worth $1 million, but I have done. I said I would never again do it, but I did do, and will obviously go back. But next time, you tricked me, and said I was going to be volunteering, and that you had my shirt and whatever, but you had me at a bridal expo and a quinceañera expo. And so I said I would do it again, but I'm going to have a sign that's behind me that says, "Don't do it." And like with an arrow out the building, exit, don't get married. I would highly not recommend.
We can just promote the quinces, but not the brides.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
I'm good with
you can
that.
be in charge of the quinces. Yes, so I apologize. Next year, I might also add you to the air show volunteer list.
Got it. Hey, I was ready to go. I was going to fly
know.
home early from a trip.
That's
I
a
had
whole nother
everything.
story too,
Yeah.
but
hopefully the air show next year.
Yeah. So I have you
yeah.
on my list for all the things, even though I tell you, yes, I'll stay with you the whole time. I won't abandon you, and then I abandon you.
Yeah.
So
but I'm
thanks.
used to being,
Thanks for
I'm
showing
dealing
up
with my
anyways.
abandonment issues. I do
I'm
have
adding
some
to
trauma.
them.
Yeah. But you're helping me work through that. So there you go.
Awesome.
I think that's one of those that we kind of share too. I laugh that when we talk about some of the parallels with family, with, relationship history, with all of those things. And I think having those friendships, you touched on it where you have those, but making sure your team does too.
Yeah.
But I think as women, it is so incredibly important to have those friendships where you get to just show up as you.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite thing about you. From the very first time I met you was the fact that there was no mask on you or me.
Yeah.
We were able to both just show up as ourselves. And we laugh hysterically. We cry together. It's kind of all the things.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine. That's why I always tell you, like it better be Center of Hope or something else here because you can never move away. But I'm very grateful that New York brought you to here.
Yes.
And that you have no intention of ever leaving me to go back to New York.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. I just broke the news to your family in case they were curious if you'd ever move back.
No,
I said no.
I think
She won't.
Yeah. I think my staff too, they're like, we will duct tape you to your chair.
You're not going anywhere.
I think at least once a week, I'm like, I'm done, I quit. And they're
Yeah.
like, haha, kidding. No.
You're funny.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, and I'm like, no one said I was kidding. And
Nope.
they're like, no, you're coming back.
Yeah.
And
You
so,
must.
So it'd be you and them, the whole gang, like just tying me to
Ain't
my
no way.
chair. Yeah. No, I'm so grateful, and I don't want to leave. I consider El Paso home now. I love this city, and I really have made some amazing friendships. Yours obviously is like top of the list, but just like that tribe, like you said, of women, just supporting women. And there's definitely some mean girls that we still
There
encounter
are.
every day,
Yeah.
but
I think we do pretty well with them, though.
yeah,
we just
manage
keep
it.
going.
Yeah, we just keep going.
Yeah, they can
I don't
stand
hear
in the
what they're
corner
saying.
and talk whatever they want to talk.
What's the thing, like we fart glitter or something like
Yeah,
that? And
definitely.
So
We totally do.
it's fine.
Yeah, and I get pictures of them. In fact, can you hand me my phone? So this is funny. So we're sitting at this event last week, and somebody was taking pictures. It's okay. Somebody was taking pictures, and we were laughing because, well, you were laughing because I made the comment. I said, "Oh my gosh, thank God Denise is here to take pictures. She takes the most amazing pictures."
Oh, I know where this is going
thank
now.
God, I don't have to do it. And you went, "Oh, hell no." Basically calling me out as a terrible photographer. So I wanted to do this live on camera so that you could see how right you were.
Oh, boy.
Because this is the picture that I took when I needed to.
Why hasn't that already been deleted? Oh my gosh, please don't even
Because
show
I
that
had
to
to
the
save
camera.
it so that I could show you.
Oh
I will not,
my
I promise.
gosh.
Well, we might. I might
You
have
can
them
flash
duct
it to the
tape
camera
in.
really
Yeah.
quick so that they know how embarrassing you are to
Yeah.
me. That's great.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're fired in terms of taking photos.
Yeah, I'm done. Because
that is
right
not
after
how you will make
said
your millions.
that, I took that one. And
Yeah.
I didn't see it because I didn't pay any attention to it until later. And then I saw that picture and I'm like, okay, I was rightfully terminated.
Yeah, no, thank God Denise goes to those meetings and takes photos for
Yeah.
us because you are fired.
I'm in debt to Denise forever because
Yeah.
I'm not a photog.
I think
for sure.
you were at another event for me and I was like, get my photos. It was when
Yes,
we did
and
the
you were
open
pissed.
house.
It was horrible.
And I'm like, you got every moment where my mouth is wide open.
And I took like 40 different pictures. Like I was snapping, and they were still terrible.
Yeah, it's
so-
not your thing. You're really good at a lot of things,
but not that.
that.
And you know what? I'm accepting that. I'm just.
Hey,
you're-
we all have
You're
our
the photog. Denise is the photog. I'm not the photog.
we
I'm
all
not
have
doing that.
our successes and our challenges. We know what your challenge
Yeah,
is.
the things that
Yeah,
we're good at and the things that we're not.
exactly.
Awesome.
Yeah, please don't share any photos you've ever taken of me on social
Ever.
media ever.
Okay. Well, Fernanda always tells me don't share pictures ever.
Oh, see,
So
we're
I
on the
think
same
you guys
page.
have that in common.
Yeah.
I'm terrible at it.
That's
I love it.
hilarious.
So the last thing really is our shared love of fur babies. And so, you mentioned Noble, and I've got Dolly, and I've got Marshmallow. So tell me about your two, and especially kind of what you're navigating right now with the vet and having to make sure he's
goodness.
okay and, all of the things.
Yes, so I have two fur babies, little ones. Noble would probably think that they're a chew toy.
He might eat them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Pepper's the mini schnauzer. She's the president of the Mean Girls Club. She's a straight up bully.
She is.
And so it's like I get bullied at work by adults and then I get bullied at home by the dog, but she's in charge. And then I have Stark, who's the little Chihuahua guy, the mixed Chihuahua. They're both rescues, but Stark is now 7 and has diabetes, which we found out in June. So yes, work is crazy, and then now my life with the dogs is a little crazy as well. So he gets 2 shots a day. Everyone joked, "Thank God you were a nurse prior, because now you can give him an injection, no problem." I was like, yeah,
It's not
that's-
the same thing,
No,
but
I was
okay,
like-
fine.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, thanks. Let me hold down the fur ball. I don't think it's the same, but we didn't train. I didn't go to vet school. I went to nursing school.
Very different.
But he now figured out that if he goes through with his shot and he's good, then he gets chicken as a reward, like a piece of chicken. So he actually loves the shot. He stands there and waits for it. And I'm like, wow, if only.
So maybe we should have gone to vet school.
Yeah, I'm like, if only it was this easy with everyone else. So, but yeah, he's losing his hair. He looks like a little bit of a hot mess. I'm like, you look homeless and everyone's going to think I neglect you. But
Yeah. But you don't.
No, not,
Yeah.
the vet bills, yeah, no. I have to stay at Center of Hope forever because I'm in debt at the vet, but yeah. So no, they're my fur babies. That's another piece of what keeps me going, what keeps me grounded. And when I have a really hard day at work, just cuddling with them is, that is key. So
It's huge.
Yeah.
And that's really kind of the reason that I wanted to end with that piece, is the fact that we all have something different, right? You and I have a lot of them in common as far as what we do for self-care.
Yeah.
But I think it was important with what we talked about as far as what your job is, what your role is, and the people that work with you and what they do. What are those self-care things? And so I loved the fact that the fur baby piece, it adds to your load as far as what you have to carry and what you have to do, and especially now with Stark and making sure that he's good. But figuring out what works for you. And
Yeah.
I think I love the fact that we have that in common with the fur babies. They get their own stockings. We're getting ready for that time of year.
I think if we had more money and a bigger house, we'd also collect fur babies. So
Yeah.
it's probably good that my landlord says I can only have two, because I'm a little restricted.
have
Otherwise,
more.
yeah, otherwise I'd have a farm at my house.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they're a huge part of self-care. If for anyone who's an animal lover, which I joke that I wouldn't be friends with somebody who's not. So
I don't have friends that aren't animal lovers.
yeah, like,
I
it
really
concerns
don't.
me, but-
because the vibe isn't there.
Yeah,
It's
so-
like if they don't like animals, then we're probably not going to get along great anyway. It's
And
kind of
so-
like if they don't like alcohol or coffee, or there's a few things.
or they don't use cuss words.
Also that.
Yeah. No, we can't be friends.
If you can't say airing out your vagina with a straight face, we can't be friends.
I laugh because I know what you mean.
I love it.
And then at work we also bring the fur babies to work a lot, and so
Mm-hmm.
it's a huge self-care piece for my team too. To just whoever wants to bring their dog to work day,
Yeah.
like it's fair game.
Well, and even there, y'all have to deal with stuff. I remember you guys had the dog there the one time that had the seizure at work for the first time and had to race that dog to a vet. So, I
Yeah,
mean, it's
so-
like that was its own crisis
We
call.
also care for people and animals at work, but no, it's just a huge self-care piece for sure. Yeah.
Well, here's to a very bright future for our friendship,
Yes.
for Center of Hope, and for all of our fur babies and those that we love.
And here's
How's
to your
that?
first million.
Yes.
Not
No
because I need
pressure.
it for anything, no pressure, but just because I know that it will happen soon, and I'm so excited for you.
Well, you've been incredibly supportive, always have. And you've hung in there when some other people haven't. And the fall off has been healthy for me.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean it didn't come without pain. And so I'm very grateful for the friendship and the relationship that you and I have forged, because you are that person in my tribe. And I'm so grateful for that, because I can call you with anything and you're there. Even if it's Groundhog's Day and it's the same conversation that I've called you about 37 times, you're going to pick up the phone.
And when it's not you, then it's me calling for the same
Yeah.
groundhog thing.
Yeah.
And yeah,
We take
so
turns.
I think it's just, we basically take turns being in crisis. And
That's very true. As long as the crisis calls don't coincide.
no, then
Like,
we're
we can't crisis
screwed.
call
Who are
each
we-
other at the
Who are
same
we going
time.
to three-way in if we're both in crisis?
Yeah, that'd be real
But-
bad. I don't
but
know.
yeah.
We need
No, I
that
think
third
it's
person.
mutual.
Very good. Well, here's to the tribe.
Love you, sister.
Love you. Thank you for coming on.
Yes, of course.
All right.
Anytime.
Very good. Thank you, guys. We'll see you soon.